Happy Friday, Corporate Misfits, and welcome to episode 55 of the Corporate Misfit podcast. I'm your host, Brittany Darrington, founder of the Corporate Misfit Club and business strategist for female entrepreneurs who are looking to start, launch, and grow their business. I am so excited for our Friday feature because this is a continuation from episode 52. We've been chatting with Lauren Armstrong, who is the founder of Created Future Academy. Lauren sharing how she left her 9-to-5 to start her own implementation business, helping busy entrepreneurs who feel overwhelmed, stressed, and not sure what to focus on. So Lauren's going to be sharing with us how she was able to leave the oil and gas industry and go into working for herself. So let's go ahead and dive right in.
You're listening to the Corporate Misfit podcast with Brittany Darrington, where female entrepreneurs can get powerful tips and advice on how to start, launch, and grow their business.
Now, a lot of people, sometimes they want the instant success. And so they're doing the implementation and they're doing all the moving parts, but they're like, I'm not receiving the success, or I'm not getting to where I want to go. How long did it take you from leaving your corporate job to really growing your business to where it was profitable and you were able to do it full time?
Yep. So there are a lot of kind of schools of thought on this. And so I'll just share my personal experience. I left my corporate job 7 months ago. So I'm kind of like, newer month-wise out of this. I have not replaced my full income of my 6 figures and my little plush little things.
I love this thing because this is perfect because this is perfect. The people can be able to really understand and relate.
Yes, because, but I did this for reasons that are my own reasons, and I did it for freedom. Yeah. And I spent, Thanksgiving with my family in California, and I went to Hawaii to visit my brother, and I ran my business from those places. So yeah, I might not be making $100,000 yet, but you know what? My plan sure as hell has me getting there in 2019. And I have no doubt in my mind that that's going to happen because I know what to do. So I mean, that might not be what someone wants to hear when they're first starting, like, wait a minute, you haven't made it yet? Like, it's been 7 months. Yeah, but it's really taking a minute to figure out where you want to go, how you want to get there, what's the business you want to build, and then doing that. And then the schools of thought that I wanted to share just around like leaving your job before you have it all figured out, or not, doing it on the side. Like, oh my gosh, the amount of opinions that you've probably heard on this by interviewing.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to hear all of the different opinions. But for me, I think that's a really personal decision. And personally, like, there's no shame, no hard, no foul, no nothing to anybody in the other camp. But for me, like with my corporate job, my energy, like we talked about, that finite amount of energy at the end of the day, like when I got home, man, like that was gone. Like, so I made a choice, right? And I know that it's a decision and it's completely on me, but my decision was, I know that when I get out of this job, 100% of my effort towards building this business and have no backup plan. And that's what it took for me to really take it seriously. And for some people, they can do it on the side and not like, oh my gosh, if you can, all the power to you. But like, I tried to do it and I was like, oh, this is not happening. Right. But so what I did do, and what might help some people out there, is with this corporate job, I made a couple of decisions when I did decide to start my own business. So that was one, coming up with a dollar amount that I needed to sustain my lifestyle in order to build this business. 2, I was offered, we have like 3 to 5 year stints at the company that I was at. So I was up for my new role. And there were 2 options. Number 1, stay at headquarters and make more money, because I was like leapfrogging a position, which if I were going for the CEO sort of situation, that would have been a great option, but that's not what I wanted. So the other option was go virtual, take a sales role, and we will move you to where you actually want to end up and where you want to live, because I was looking to move out of Texas at the time. And you can go that route. So this whole vision and like alignment of really understanding what you want, like what that future is that you're trying to create, will help you even in decisions if you're not ready to leave corporate yet. If you're like, I'm making some really good money, I want to save up some money first, like look at opportunities like that, like something that's not necessarily the best role at your corporate job, but is going to give you skills that you're looking to build in your entrepreneurial, route, or if they're looking to, if it aligns with where you're trying to live or the dollar amount that you're trying to gain, like whatever that looks like. So I took that job in California, making less than I would have at headquarters, but giving me more time to explore my options, giving me a little bit more freedom, like putting me where I wanted to go, learning some sales skills. So that's the route that I took. So very long detour to your question, but
no, I know. I love that because it's very true. I mean, a lot of people, sometimes they think that the only way to make it happen is just quit your job and go out there. So I am a planner, just by nature. That's just kind of my thing. So for me, I'm like, okay, how am I going to get there? If I quit my job tomorrow, what's happening? Like, how are we going to do that? And I love that you said, like, you took another position in the world, in the corporate world, to help you be able to explore your options before just going full turkey out there, where you're like, bye, I'm just leaving. So it allowed you to really test out the waters, see what you think, see how it is working for yourself and working at home and being responsible for creating your daily task and things like that. Because a lot of people think sometimes that going into entrepreneurship, I get to just build, I get to create, I get to do this amazing thing, which you will be able to do. But there are a lot of other moving pieces to it. If you don't know how to make money in your business, you won't be in business long. And,
right.
Unfortunately, 8 out of 10 businesses shut their doors in their first year, according to statistics. And so it's one of those things where if you are in a place where you can take a position that allows you to test out the waters, I think of like 4-hour work week. If you can take something that allows you to work virtually and, maybe have to go in here and there or make a phone call here and there, that is awesome, because then you can start your business on the side, see if it works, get it to a profitable stage, and then decide to go out there and leave your job or do what works best for you and your household and your livelihood. So I love that you are mentioning this, because some people say the only way for you to be successful is just quit your job. And then you have the other batch that's like, okay, I can start my side hustle and do this while I'm working at my 9-to-5 and grow that. And then once I'm making enough to support myself, then I'll leave. And so there's so many options. You have to do what works best for you. But I love the route that you took. And I love how honest you are with that, because that is something that a lot of people kind of shy away from. They're usually telling people, I made $1 million the first month I went into business. And I'm like, okay, what?
That stuff makes me so angry.
I know, but I hear it all the time. And the society that we're in, it's like this, I feel like we're sharing sometimes as entrepreneurs. I think it's our opportunity and our duty to really share with aspiring entrepreneurs, like what the truth is. We have good and bad. We have roller coaster rides in entrepreneurship. But if we don't share that, then we're giving this like false perception, and we're automatically telling people, go out there, there's freedom. And it's like everyone jumping off this cliff going into the ground,
Yeah. Jump and maybe the net will not appear.
We're
definitely misled.
Exactly. So what were people like when you decided to quit your job? What was your support system like when you said, okay, look, I'm going to go into working for myself now, and this is it. I'm going for it.
Yeah. It's so funny because, I was sent these, some questions in advance, right? I was just like looking over, okay. And I was really thinking about, okay, what was my support system like? Like, what did I decide to do? Because, it's funny when you're removed from it, it's such a big deal when you're in it. And then when you're on the other side, it's like, oh, that wasn't that bad. No, it was. I'm not going to lie to you. So, like so much fear there. Right. So, something that I did that I highly recommend, because I think it made a really big difference for me, is I only told people that I knew would support me. So both my parents are entrepreneurs, so they were very supportive of being like, yeah, it took you long enough, Lauren,
go for it.
Yeah, it took you long enough. And then, also the whole concept of like fear setting, which is a stoicism thing about like, what is the worst possible thing that can happen, and like make your own list, because people are going to tell you that you're going to fail if you tell people that aren't supportive, right? I mean, that's what we do as humans. We want to protect people. So unfortunately, we kind of make them afraid of going for their dreams. So I chose people to tell that were really supportive. So my mom, my dad, my boyfriend, Jeremy, who's like honestly amazing about it, which I was kind of surprised because I'm like, I'm making a lot of money right now. And I'm telling you, I'm going to leave it all and like hope that this thing can work, you know? So that's really cool. Like find those people in your life that are going to be super supportive and let them know and let them cheer you on. Maybe wait to tell other people that are not going to support you, or even do it and have them find out later. Like I have friends who still, I mean, it's like 7 months later, who are not super close with me that like don't know that I did this. So I mean, do what feels right to you, but that's something that I would suggest is just like, you don't need anybody else's fear. You know, it takes enough courage to just try and do it on your own to move along. And then what I did at the end was actually to make myself do it, because I know that I could have chickened out. I started telling coworkers that I knew would be supportive. So like because things spread like wildfire in corporate America. Well, at my job,
you tell one person, the whole corporate world knows. Everyone's like, I thought you left your job and you started your business. And you're like, what?
Yeah. How did you know? You live in another country.
People start searching you on LinkedIn.
Exactly. You're like spiked, your searches go up. But so in order to gain, like the last month when I had already set my like exit date, when I was going to tell my boss 3 weeks before I started telling employees to be like, and I told them when I was going to do it so that I couldn't back out. So that's another strategy if you want to go for it.
I love that. And I love that you said you didn't tell the people that you thought that they weren't going to be supportive, because what happens is sometimes every entrepreneur is different, and we're all going to we might have similar paths, but we also might have very different paths and different ways about going on our path. And so what happens sometimes is when we get all this advice or we get all this feedback and opinions from all these different people, sometimes people put their own fears on you.
Totally.
And
smear your fear.
Yeah. It's like maybe they started a business and it failed, or maybe they started a business with a business partner and things went south, or all these different things that could possibly have happened, that then they're like, protect. Don't do this, or don't do that, or don't do this. And they don't ever let you go through the experience. And then you're trying to avoid it because you're afraid. Now, for those people who are listening, they're like, what's the difference between mentorship? Well, mentorship is usually finding someone that you trust and you really pay attention to, and you are open to receiving their advice and implementing some of the things that you believe might be a good fit for your business. But for just sharing with friends and family, or individuals who you just share it with and they give you their opinion and you don't really value or want to implement what they're saying, by all means, you don't have to. And that's the amazing part about entrepreneurship. We get to choose. And even if you're not an entrepreneur, like you get to choose what you want to take in and what you want to leave out. And I love that you had the opportunity to choose. Like, I'm not going to share advice or share my goals and my journey with people who I believe might not support it right now, and they can find out later on. So I love that.
Yeah. And just another like piece of advice that I received, and I don't know where I got this, but I really, really dug it, was never take advice from somebody you wouldn't want to trade places with. So like if you've got, great friends and you want to tell them about it, and they might not support it, and they're like, well, don't do it until this, or don't do it until that, but you wouldn't necessarily want to live their life. Like, why would you take that advice? Same with relationship advice, right? Like, you're not going to take relationship advice from someone who's like been single their entire lives. So same sort of
you wouldn't. I'd love that. Now, a lot of times when you get into entrepreneurship, you have those moments where you're like, I either need motivation, or sometimes I'm not as motivated as I was when I first started, and things along those lines. Do you have any mindset practices that you currently implement into your business? And if so, what are they?
Yeah, I've got a couple. So number one is always have your greater why, which I'm sure people have touched on this in the first place. Like, why did you want to start this business? Yeah. Write it down, have it visible, like make it a part of your daily routine to just like look at it, like get inspired by it, because this is why you're doing this. This is what the hard work is for. Another one that I absolutely love is figure out like, who are you serving? Like, come from a place of service of, I'm doing this so that I can help. Who are you helping and what are you helping them do? And think of like a really specific person that you've helped or that you want to help, and like let that drive you, because a lot of times like it takes something outside of ourselves when that whole internal motivation is kind of lacking, to be like, but I'm doing it for this person. Like, that's the person that I can really help change or like impact, or like, if that person didn't hear me talk about this today, like, where would they be? Right. That's super helpful. And then the third one is really surrounding yourself with people who are in a similar space that you are, who are also building their businesses, who have also done incredible things, to just be like, I want to be like them. And it's really neat to surround yourself with those people, especially when you're first starting out, to be like, look at what's possible. Because if you're constantly surrounding yourself with people who are still in their 9 to 5, which is, I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with being in a 9 to 5, but if that's not what you want for yourself anymore, you got to find some other people to hang out with and to vibe off of almost, right? Like,
so true.
What can you create, and what can you create together, and can you inspire other people, and are they inspiring you? And like, I have a mastermind group that I'm in, and we meet every Monday, and it's like super exciting to be like, what did Jenny do today? Or what did Karen do last week? And like, oh, you want to be one of those people that did some really cool stuff. And so like, if not for you, do it for your mastermind, right?
Exactly. And you can learn so much from masterminds too. I mean, just having a community of like-minded individuals in general, to me, is so powerful. Like, I always contribute my success to individuals that I surrounded myself with. And I'm sure you can probably say the same. Like, being around those individuals, they challenge you, and they challenge you in ways that you might not have thought of, especially in the business aspect of things. Like, just like you would have a team of people to help you in the corporate world, you need that team of people to help you in your business world. And like, having that support and having those individuals to go and just share the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the amazing side of things with, it really can help you to overcome a ton of hurdles and bumps in the roads that you might face. And so I love that you have this strong community of individuals and you're in masterminds, because that really will help you. Now, you mentioned one thing earlier, Lauren. You were saying, really make sure you know who you're serving, and make sure that you're doing it for them, and how you can change their life if you were to serve them. So a lot of people actually struggle to identify who their ideal customer is. What are some things that you did to help you really narrow down who your ideal customer is and how you were going to serve them?
This is so funny, because honestly, everybody that I know struggles with this. I struggled with it, and everybody thinks that they're different. Like, it's so funny. Like, I was totally one of those people that was like, yeah, but I can help everyone. Okay.
Yeah, I said that too. And I was like, no, I can't help everyone. I started having people where I was like, I really cannot help them. Like, please, no. No.
Please, I don't want to help you, actually. I don't like what you're trying to accomplish. So please, you're not my person. But yeah, I think that there definitely is just kind of this whole concept of like, I want to be able to help everyone, which is awesome. But I also think that if you can help someone, and I don't know what all the businesses are that people are trying to start, but if coming from a place of service, like, if while you're still in your corporate job, you can find someone to help for free or like very low monetary value, and be like, what did I like about working with this person? And what did I not like about working with this person? And I think that can really help you clarify, because mine got more and more clear the more people I started working with. Like, I was working with one individual, and I was like, oh, I don't want any clients like that person ever again. And here are all of the reasons why, right? Like, they're like on my no list. And then I was like, okay, what do I love about this client, and all of the things that she's doing, and who she's helping, and what she wants to build? And so I think that can, again, action breeds clarity. Like, you can go into it with a set list, and that's amazing. But most people don't do that. They go in with, I'm going to help everybody. And then they figure out, okay, these are the people that I really like to serve. And these other people, not so much. Does that answer your question?
Yes. And I love that too, because it's so true. Like, being able to go out and experience who you're working with, and it allows you to see, I love this, not so much. Because
it's like dating.
Yeah, it's like, yes, it is like dating. It's like you go on these blind dates with these people and you're like, here's my product, here's my service, here's who I am. Do you like me? Do we like each other? And then if you're like, this is not working, you can say, okay, this date is going to be over and I'm not going to marry this person. I'm not going to like go and have children with this person. Yep. I'm going to let this be and keep it going. So I love that because it is like dating. And I think that sometimes we make it so complicated and we're trying to date the world. We're like, I'm going to date everyone. And that's not doable when you really think about that.
No, you've got a type. Even if you say you don't have a type, you have a type. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing in the business world. And it's so funny because people have such a hard time like firing clients or even like following their intuition on things like, they're like, I knew this is not going to work out. And I worked with them anyways. It's like, listen to that. Like you have all of the answers inside of you. Like, it's like when you go on a really bad date and you're like, this isn't going to work out. You don't go on a second date with that person.
Yes. That's so true.
You can fire a client. It's allowed.
Yes. And that's the whole thing. Like you are your boss. And that's, if people can really take that in, if they take anything away from this whole entire conversation today, is that you have permission to do things your way. And if you are finding that you're serving a client that is not a good fit for you and your business, it will only, like I think about corporate world, you had to do it because the company was trying to bring in income and they wanted you to work with this person. You had no choice. But if you're working for yourself, you get to choose and you get to say, nope, not happening. I think I can refer you to someone else. Or even if it's a product or service, whatever it is, you get to choose who you get to work with and you get to learn that information by going through that experience. So I love that. It's so true. Dating is definitely the best analogy when it comes to working with clients. I love that, Lauren.
Good. I'm glad it resonated.
Yes. Now, Lauren, what is your favorite part about being an entrepreneur?
Oh my gosh. I think I said this earlier, but just like the freedom, like time and location independence was the whole reason I wanted to start. I mean, other than to serve other people, right? Like I just talked about like that coming from a place of service. It's really cool when I get to like watch somebody like have breakthrough moments and implement and like get to levels in their business that like they've not been able to get to before. Like that is, I
love that. And you even said that you start crying when you see this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like when people, oh my God, it's kind of embarrassing, but like I can't watch the Olympics with other people because it's so embarrassing. Like when people achieve their dreams, like I'm a mess. Like any inspiring movie, I'm a crier. Like I just love watching people like get to their goals. Like it's so freaking cool to watch people like do what they set their heart out to do. So that's like the service side of it. Like love watching people go for it. Love being a part of that journey. Like, that feels amazing. But for the personal side of it, like the whole reason I wanted to start this and like what I love about owning a business in general is just like being able to do that from anywhere and at any time. It's like I hosted a Friendsgiving on a Sunday afternoon because it's the only time most of my friends could do it. And I was like, you know what? I am going to take Monday off because I know that I'm going to be one, hungover, and two, clean my apartment. So I'll work Saturday instead of Monday and all will be good. You know, like being able to make those decisions and not feeling guilty about it at all. Just being like, oh, this is great.
Now, what is one piece of advice that you would give to a female entrepreneur who is looking to leave their 9-to-5 and start their own business?
Yep. I would say just kind of following that creative future framework that I talked a little bit about earlier, like really think about what does that done business look like? What is the plan to get there? And then what's the first step? And then coming up with an execution plan or implementation plan of like, okay, what are those 90-day goals? What do I need to do this week? And not putting it off until like next year or like 3 months from now or whatever, like just start. And I know that you've probably gotten that piece of advice from a lot of women that you've interviewed, like just do it, like the whole Nike thing.
Like, just do it. Just do it. Because what happens is if we don't start, if we don't try it, if we don't do it, then what usually happens is we do this procrastination thing and we like think about it. And I don't know about you, but I've seen way too many people die in the grave that had all these dreams, talents, and gifts within them that they never ever got to use. Like Les Brown said it really well, but the most expensive place is going to a grave, because all of these individuals that are in the ground might not have had the opportunity or ever, went for it because they didn't just do it. And so I love that you said that, because it is true. We have to just do it. Whether we're starting a podcast, a business, or an online course, or new products, services, just doing it allows us to go through the trial and the error and get to hopefully the end result. So
right.
I love that.
And I think too, like there's 3 elements of a business, right? Like there's traffic, there's leads, and there's sales. And so like really understanding, okay, what am I going to actually sell people? Because I feel like a lot of people in corporate America that I've worked with or have talked to that are starting businesses, like they'll go out and they'll purchase things that they don't necessarily need yet because they don't know what they're selling yet. Like figure it out. Like, what do you want to sell first? Like start with the end in mind, right? Like, what are you going to sell? Then who are you going to sell it to? Like, what is your sales mechanism? Like, how are you going to get them to buy from you? And then you can work on building the traffic. So I've seen both types of things. Like one where it's like, okay, I'm just going to like create like an Instagram account. Cool. That's free. You can like start sharing your ideas. You can start building on that. Like, and eventually you're going to ask them to become like, they're going to become leads where you're selling them something and then you get sales. But if you're like out there purchasing all of this stuff, I would say wait until you know what you're going to actually sell, so that you're not just like, it's not a hobby. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. And also too, if people can just keep this in mind when it comes to buying stuff and expenses into your business, always think about this. Do you want to be profitable? And if you want to be profitable, a profitable company is going to do everything in their power to keep their costs down. That doesn't mean be cheap and not invest in yourself, but they'll keep their costs down. Where is there a free version of this specific software? Or is there another way? Maybe I can't spend all of this money on marketing yet. So how can I maybe use Pinterest or Instagram or Facebook, or get in these Facebook groups and market myself there until I can build up capital and revenue into my business, and then bring that in. So it's always one of those things where I always tell people, like, pay attention. Do you want to be a profitable business, or do you want to be that business that goes out of business in a year and also loses money along the way? So it's up to you, and you get to choose. But like you said, starting and picking things that are maybe affordable or free at the very beginning, and allowing yourself to build to the next level, it will only help you to stay profitable and also grow your business so you can actually scale it and actually succeed. Now, I know you told us about your Facebook group. Can you share with us where we can find that on Facebook, and then also how we can stay connected with you?
Yes. So Facebook, I am Created Future Academy group. It's called Clarity Creation for Business Owners is the name of the group, but you can find it under Created Future Academy group. And I can send you all these links. But the next one is Instagram. I'm at Created Future Academy. And then email hello@Created Future Academy, and website creativefutureacademy.com. So it's pretty uniform there.
I love it. And I will make sure to leave all of this in the show notes so that you can stay connected. I have enjoyed our conversation today and learning more about how you left your 9 to 5.
Same, Brittany. It's a pleasure speaking with you, especially since I found my secret soul sister.
If you've enjoyed today's episode of the Corporate Misfit podcast, we invite you to check out the Corporate Misfit Club. The Corporate Misfit Club is the essential resource for female entrepreneurs who are looking to start or grow a business they actually love. Whether you are a seasoned entrepreneur in your startup phase, or simply thinking about taking the leap into entrepreneurship, we've got your back, girl. With our extensive course library, monthly training, exclusive members-only discount perks, and unlimited tools. We also have a supportive community of women where our members share stories, experiences, their wins, and business tips. The Corporate Misfit Club is the perfect place to be to start, launch, or grow a business. So check it out at corporatemisfitclub.com.